This is my second update on this pressure cooker from ASDA, bought December 22. I've only used it 4 times in about 3 months, which I'll tell you about later, but my first impression is it's going to be a really good cooking device. What I'm about to say, I think it applies to all these type. I think they're all copying the Instant Pot brand. That's Instant Pot, which is really mostly a pressure cooker, but can be used also as a slow cooker and a saute. Point 1 about these Instant Pot copies is for pressure cooking, which is what most people do in it, you need a minimum amount of water. It's a wet system, so everything's going to get steamed or boiled. In this one I need a minimum of 2 of these. Which is 320 millilitres. It actually says the preferred fill level is 8 cups, which is about 1.28 litres, which seems quite a lot to me. Point 2 is it's mostly a pressure cooker with its own hob inbuilt. So you see all these, but they're all really just presets. I think most people probably end up using manual most of the time. These are all pressure cooker settings except that one, which is slow cook and saute. To slow cook, you put the lid on and keep the vent open. With the vent open, it really is just a slow cooker, even just looking at it. Slow cook. So you've got 6 hours, 8 hours and 4 hours. Cancel. To saute, take the lid off. Saute 3 seconds. "20, 30 or 10 at low." Cancel. Point 3. You need accessory containers. Otherwise you're boiling everything. Not unless you want to put them in silver foil and stuff. Like this thing from Lidl, £4. It's a steamer basket. I'll put it in there like that. The most important things about this are, is get that there so it's not in the water. And this here, you need some sort of handle to be able to get these sort of things out. I think they base all these sort of things on Instant Pot sizes. So this, I think this would be a small Instant Pot size. There's also a bigger one, and I think Instant Pot also have an air fryer pressure cooker as well. But I think they all go by the Instant Pot sizes, of which there are 2 mainly. The inner diameter at the top is about 22 centimetres, but at the bottom it's curved, so I mean, I reckon I would need to be about 18 centimetres to get a pot in there. I've used this, it works great, but all the juice falls underneath, so you need oven proof pots. But even then I think the temperature might be even higher than 220 degrees in here, because with the pressure it increases the heat a bit, but most people I've seen are using oven proof pots. I don't have one that fits. Also I think it would be useful to have some sort of trivet. This doesn't fit right, and it's not intended to go in an oven either, but I probably will end up using it. I don't think you can use plastic, but I don't know, if there's plastic that can take 220 degrees or above, who knows, but I'm not going to try it. As for porcelain and glass oven pots, it's up to yourself. From what I've read, people use them, but at the same time, some people say if they've got a crack in it, the pressure cooker might be able to smash that, but I don't know really. And my final point would be, I think it's going to be great for wet cooking. The texture is outstanding. The speed, I mean, to me it's taking things that might take an hours, it's taking them down to like 5, 10, 15 minutes. And economy, I'll explain that in a minute, but I think it's going to be really good economy wise. I've got it plugged into a meter so I can read how much energy it uses. On standby it uses 0.4 watts. Looking at the cooking times, you might think this is going to take 3 minutes, but you're wrong, because that's the zombie time. All these are the zombie times. They actually have to cook before that, and it can take anything from like 3 to 10 minutes, I think, maybe even longer. When you use the pressure cooker, you've got it there, you're sealing it. You've got to wait for the pressure to build up and also the heat to build up as well, and that can take like 3 to 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even longer. I don't know enough about it yet because I've only used it 4 times. For vegetables at 8 minutes, I would say it took about 5 minutes to get up there, and then after that you need to wait the 8 minutes, which I'll call zombie time. For that pre-zombie time cooking, that's when the actual energy is being used. That's when you're using maybe 1.1 kilowatts. That's when the energy is being used, and then when it reaches the zombie moment, it's on standby. So for that 8 minutes for the vegetables I was talking about, it's 8 minutes of, it's not using any energy at all, it's just lying there in a high pressure state. For speed and economy, I can't be sure about this, but I think it's going to be close to what a microwave can do, and the texture's always probably going to be outstanding in a pressure cooker. I cooked these from frozen in 8 minutes and they were outstanding. Even the really hard veg was as soft as anything. I think that's the big thing about pressure cookers, the texture's incredible. And for speed, this casserole veg will probably cook in about 13 minutes. That's 8 minutes at high for vegetables, high pressure, and the 5 minutes of pre-cook before, where it's actually using the energy. So 8 minutes of zombiness and 5 minutes of energy. And also for cost, it's only really, for that it's using about 5 minutes at 1.1 kilowatt. I reckon at the moment that's about 7 pence or something, but I'm going to cook this in a minute so you can see. Okay, I'm going to cook this, it's all frozen. I could use manual, which only cooks at high pressure it seems, but I'll go for vegetable. That's low, that's mid, that's high. I'll go for vegetable high, 8 minutes. 5 minutes of energy and 8 minutes of zombie time. Here goes. That bit there always fits at the back there. Like that. I could just put it in this pot, the pot that comes with it, but it means I'm boiling it. I'm going to steam it using this sea creature thing. Casserole root veg. Does veg come any harder? Put in a bit for sure. Frozen veg. Oh no. Oh well. Frozen chicken slices. Obviously no good adding sauce because it'll all just fall down. But the quality of this texture is going to be fantastic. Venting. sealed. Venting, sealed. Once it's reached the required pressure, that'll come up and that'll block that. So I'll seal this. I chose vegetable at high. High. So this is the energy time I told you about. At the moment it's using 1.17 kilowatts, and this is when it really uses energy. This sort of time, I think this will take about 5 minutes to reach the pressure and the heat. During this time it doesn't tell me anything. I'm waiting for that silver thing to rise up and seal. That's 3 minutes 25 seconds so far. It's cost me 3 pence. Sounds a bit like a kettle. Only a tiny bit. So you're meant to put your recipe in and then you're meant to add water. So I would imagine everything ends up soggy if you do that. There, it's starting to go. It's a bit higher. It'll move a bit. It's gone. Sealed. That's it, moved into the zombie phase where it's not using any energy really. So that's it, stopped using energy really. That took me about 8 minutes, so all in it's going to take about 16 minutes. It cost me 6 pence, but electricity's sky high at the moment, and at the moment it's using 0.3 watts, same as standby. It used 0.197 kilowatts, 197 watts. If I was doing this in the microwave I would probably use steam bags, but I don't know if I'll be able to get the same texture. Looks like I was wrong about the zombie state. Most of the time it's not done any cooking, not used any energy, but just for a few seconds there it went back up to 1.1 kilowatts, which is round about the maximum it seems to use. Yeah, so far it's used about another 30 seconds of energy. It's 8 minutes 29 seconds now. So now it's going into, it's staying at that heat, but I can stop it at any time now, it's finished. It just keeps it at the same heat. I don't know if it ever goes off, whether you have to switch it off manually or what. I can use the quick release to get rid of the steam, or I can wait for this to go down, which should take about 25 minutes. I'm going to use quick release, but I'm going to wait a couple of minutes till it calms down a bit. So that was about 15 minutes all in. It was using energy for about 8.5 minutes. It's on standby at the moment at 0.4, and it cost me 7 pence, and that's with the price at 34 pence per kilowatt hour. The most important thing is how many watts it used. It used 210 watts. Release the pressure. I've not found a good way yet. Once that drops, that's you can open it. I do it facing away, like that. Very watery. I mean, look at that. Is it turnip or something? It's really totally done. Maybe even a bit too soft. Carrots, totally mashed to bits. Still got its shape. Chicken, yep, lovely and soft by the looks. There's what the lid looks like inside. There's your vents. You've got this lining thing. So it's pretty basic really. That's removable, you can replace that. So at the moment I still say buy for pressure cooker stocks, because it seems to match a microwave in speed and energy usage. A microwave is really the best of the lot, but I think pressure cooker must be close to matching it. But it also does the texture great every time that I've used it. It must be amazing for like bean soups and lentils, you know, all those hard grains or whatever, barley. You know, it must be really good for them, because it must soften them quite a bit. The sea creature has cooled down, I hope. Probably a lot of nutrients in there. Yeah, that's really cool. That's about 10 minutes. There's your meal from my cafe. Very little washing up to do. Just add stuff now. Those big bit of carrots, completely soft. Turnip or whatever, soft. Maybe a bit too soft actually, but the chicken, yep, good by the looks. In my opinion, the chicken is as good as it can be. So I've used it about 5 times. At the moment I'm very enthusiastic. So whatever type you buy of these, I think you're going to like it. But I'll keep you updated. So it's still early days, but so far it gets a thumbs up.